Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Blox Stuck. In today's video, we will talk about the mistake you should avoid in Phantom Forces. But before we begin, hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Number 6. Use the minimap. This one is definitely not a don'ts in this video. You should make it a habit to use your minimap, and it comes in handy. The minimap is useful since it can save your life in many situations, like in the case where you have no idea where someone is. Sound is always going to be your first defense, but if you are unsure, the minimap is your last resort. These are the biggest mistakes people make in Phantom Forces. Make sure you don't make these mistakes by following the do's and don'ts in this video. Number 5. Changing reticle color. This next tip is also quite worth mentioning. Change your reticle color or the color of your dot on your vizier. You might prefer a different color than the default red color. A bright color like pink or purple will contrast well against the map. Don't use colors like blue or yellow, brown, orange, as it might blend with the map and you won't be able to see where you're shooting. Number 4. Check your settings. Before you start playing Phantom Forces, make sure you head over and check your settings. Many people just play on default FOV, which makes you feel like you are playing through a telescope. Crank up your FOV and play up on something like a 100 plus, not on the 80, which happens to be the default. You're straight up at a disadvantage if you're not cranking up your FOV. Also, try to maximize your FPS with your settings, turn down your graphics, get rid of dead bodies, spawning or blood or impact sparks. So, dial up your settings and never play on default settings. Playing on default puts you at a massive disadvantage, and you don't want that happening to you. Number 3. Avoid the MP7. One mistake every beginner makes while playing Phantom Forces is that they use the MP7 far too much. The MP7 is not a weapon meant for the long term. Now, there are several reasons as to why you should replace the MP7. The MP7 has a 30 to 80 damage, which is pretty low. It also has a 40 to 90 stud damage range, which is awful. While the fire rate is great, the reload is quite slow. The P90 is a much better gun. While the damage is less, it can hit an enemy at a much further distance. It also has 50 rounds in a magazine and the exact same reload time. It also has the same recoil and much better penetration. As you can see, the MP7 is nothing compared to the P90. The MAC-10 and MP5K are much better guns, and you should try one of these instead of the MP7. Number 2. Suppressors. This is another mistake most players make. You shouldn't blindly buy suppressors. Instead of just buying, look into the stats. Also, there are very few instances where suppressors are useful in the game. This is because very few people use the minimap, and also the suppressors barely mute the sound of your weapon. The suppressors also have a downside, which is why you shouldn't use them. For instance, if you have the R5 suppressor on the AK-12, you're sacrificing a lot of damage. Your muzzle velocity and your damage range also take massive hits, which just proves it is not worth using. Now you can use the silent ammo or muffler in place of a suppressor if you want to silence your gun in the game. Number 1. Vertical grip. One mistake many people make, and this includes everyone and not just the beginners. They like using the vertical grip on everything they use. You might not know the fact, but vertical grip actually makes your recoil worse. The real purpose of a vertical grip is for use in hipfire. It makes your hipfire accuracy a lot better. It also does help with rotational recoil just a little bit. The increase in camera recoil is very significant, and it just makes the rotational recoil decrease and not really matter. It's one of the worst grips in the game. If you are interested, just use stubby or folding, but not the vertical grip. The only guns that are useful with vertical grips are shotguns. Tell us in the comments section your thoughts. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more such amazing content. We will see you in our next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.